Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Alyssa Lahar, Chief Human Resources Officer at ZoomInfo, to discuss the company's commitment to giving back to the communities it serves. Alyssa, welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Briefly remind viewers what ZoomInfo is all about.
Sure. ZoomInfo is a SaaS-based market intelligence platform. We help customers sell and market their products and services to other organizations, essentially allowing them to target specific customers with the right message at the right time.
How is ZoomInfo taking action to commit to equality, diversity, and inclusion?
Equality, diversity, and inclusion has been part of our DNA from the very beginning. We have embedded it into our cultures and our values. And now more than ever, it's important that we keep these conversations going, both internally with our employees and also externally within the community.
Part of that commitment is giving back to the communities in which you serve. In fact, ZoomInfo was Nasdaq's first IPO to roll out on the Zoom platform to produce a virtual first trade celebration. And with the budget saved from traditional roadshow travel and expenses, the company allocated that to social causes. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So at ZoomInfo, we are so proud to give back to the community and often look for opportunities to do that. Because the roadshow was conducted virtually due to COVID-19, we were able to take some of that budget and set it aside for various charities around pandemic readiness and diversity inclusion. We partnered with our bankers, our lawyers, our accountants, and other advisors to team up and contribute to this donation.
Small and medium-sized businesses, which are the backbone of the economy, have been especially hard hit during the last few months. How did ZoomInfo help them at that time?
ZoomInfo is a platform that can be used for any size organization. So whether you're a manufacturer in the Midwest or a Fortune 100 company, ZoomInfo will provide value. One of my favorite stories is around TentCraft. TentCraft sells tents for events and concerts and whatnot. So as you can imagine, they had a tough time through the pandemic. We helped TentCraft pivot their business. They came to us, they thought they had a use case around selling to hospitals for testing, COVID-19 testing. So they had never sold to hospitals before. So we were able to work with them and show them how to sell to hospitals, how to get information around healthcare systems. And they had their biggest revenue month in company history this past April. And that was all built off of the ZoomInfo platform. Recently, there's a nonprofit that we are working with. They set up wireless hotspots for students that don't have access to internet and can't be in the classroom. And we've been working with them to give them a couple of months of free unlimited access so that they can work with hardware manufacturers and whatnot and be able to provide this for the students.
And Alyssa, to wrap up here, tell us about some of the other diversity and inclusion efforts ZoomInfo is focused on.
Sure. I love this question. I get it a lot from candidates when I'm interviewing them. And because I'm so proud of all the work that we've done, especially this year, I get excited to talk about it. We onboarded a diversity recruiter earlier this year, and their main focus is around creating diversity pipeline. And so whether it be our partnering with the historically Black colleges and universities, working with our Black tech councils and circles, or different diversity job boards, we have had a dramatic increase in the number of candidates that we're seeing from a diversity perspective. We also have a targeted effort around development around our diversity employees. So we are working with them to create individual development plans and to provide external coaching where it makes sense. We have 5 employee resource groups, which is part of our Global Inclusion Diversity Initiative. We like to call GIDI for short. And we've been doing a lot of work with them lately. Just last night, the Women Network hosted an event for successful women in sales, and they talked about their journey, and it was extremely inspirational. We are also working with our GIDI to create a diversity summit that will be held in January, where we're talking about allyship and privilege and how we can do better. our Black employee resource group called Zoom in Color, they held a Juneteenth celebration where people were able to learn about the history. We had employees write poetry and answer Q&A, and it was a very well attended and exciting opportunity. Our employees are so excited to stand up for one another and to be a part of this culture. And so for me, coming in fairly new, I've been here for 15 months, it's been so energizing to see people come together and really support diversity and inclusion and equality in our workspace.
Alyssa, thank you for sharing those stories, and thank you for joining me on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.